Have you ever met a man who seems completely unaffected by women? He doesn't chase, he doesn't try to impress. He doesn't seem bothered whether a woman likes him or not. And strangely, that often makes people even more curious about him. At first glance, it might look like he simply doesn't care about women at all. But psychology suggests something deeper is usually happening beneath the surface. Because when a man appears emotionally unaffected, it can come from very different places. One reason is self-sufficiency. Some men reach a point where their happiness isn't built around external validation, especially from romantic attention. Their focus shifts toward personal goals, purpose, work, or self-development. When someone's life already feels full, they naturally stop seeking constant approval from others. Another reason is emotional discipline. Certain men learn early that reacting strongly to attraction or rejection can lead to poor decisions. Over time, they train themselves to stay calm and controlled in social situations. What looks like indifference is sometimes just emotional regulation. Then there's past experience. A man who has been hurt, manipulated, or disappointed in relationships may gradually become more guarded. Instead of openly investing emotional energy, he becomes selective about where he places his attention. From the outside, that can look like he doesn't care. But in reality, he might simply care less about the wrong situations. There is also the factor of scarcity versus abundance mindset. Men who believe opportunities are rare often chase harder and try to impress. But men who believe they have options tend to behave differently. They don't feel the same urgency to prove themselves. Their confidence comes from knowing their value isn't dependent on any single person's approval. Interestingly, this attitude can sometimes make them appear more attractive. Psychology shows that people are often drawn to those who seem emotionally independent. When someone isn't trying to gain approval, it can signal confidence, stability, and self-respect. But there's an important distinction here. A man who truly doesn't care about anyone is very different from a man who simply doesn't seek validation. The first can come across as cold or disconnected. The second is usually someone who values his time, energy, and emotional investment carefully. And when he does care, it tends to be intentional. In many cases, the men who appear the most indifferent are actually the ones who have learned the most about themselves, their priorities, and the kind of relationships they want. So, the next time you meet a man who doesn't seem desperate for attention, don't assume he lacks interest in people. Sometimes it just means he has already learned something many others are still trying to figure out. That attention, attraction, and approval mean much more when they are given freely, not chased.